SmackDown review for the February 14th episode of SmackDown. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, before we get into the review, make sure tonight you guys stop along for our first ever NXT watch along. And we watch some Vengeance Day right here on YouTube.
NXT.
So figure why not give that a quick plug before we get into SmackDown here.
Yeah, hell yeah. Stop by. It'll be awesome. But let's get right into it. Cody Rhodes would start our show after being spiked at the last moment of our last episode of Smackdown. He comes out and he says that Mania looks like it has to go through Chamber now that Jey Uso has selected Mr. Gunther. He says, so who is it going to be? Logan, CM Punk, Drew, or the GOAT John Cena? He says we will shortly find out, but right now, Solo, you have no qualifier. You're not going to Elimination Chamber. But last week, you thought you'd come and spike me. But guess what I thought? I had a feeling that spike wasn't actually for me. And right when he said that, boom, boom, Drew McIntyre's coming out to the ring. And he goes, Drew, that's it? That's all the respect you're going to give me? And Cody goes, you know what? You're right. I apologize. And then like a smart ass, he takes a mic. He goes, let me try again. And also, Drew McIntyre. And he makes a big scene out of it. And even Drew's kind of laughing and kind of breaking on that one. He says, look, Cody, I've won 2 Elimination Chambers. I'm a Grand Slam champ. I've won everything. I'm also the same man who hugged you a few weeks ago and then came after you as well. And now you want to fight me too? You've made this personal, and I will remind you about me and what I can do. And Cody says, guess what, Drew? Guess what you've already done too? You've already lost to me at some point in your career. And guess what? I haven't forgotten about that. And Fatu at this point now joins. Things getting spicy as all hell. Fatu comes out here and he goes, yo, Drew, you already in the chamber. And tonight I'm all gas, no brakes. So I'm a dog walk Damian Priest and Braun. And I'll be in the chamber too. Then after that, I'm going to go to Mania. And then after that, I'm going to bring that championship home to my family. And Drew goes, you know what? I think the people here in Washington, D.C., where we are tonight, would really like to see that fight. But guess what? I already got my chamber qualifier match. So, Cody, he's all yours. I think he wants to talk to you. And so Drew leaves, and Cody goes, and Cody and Fatu are face to face at this point. Fatu even does a couple circles around him, kind of stalks his prey. And Cody just goes, say when. I was like, damn right, Cody. He goes, say when.
I like that.
I know, it was awesome. He goes, here, win. But that's not about tonight. He goes, qualify first. How about you win that? And then you can fight me at WrestleMania. And before anything happens between the two of them, the Jumbotron shows a video of somebody arriving to the stadium, and it is Solo Sikoa, all white suit, full white.
Very clean.
Very clean. All white suit. He steps out of a car, and at this point, Solo and Fatu stop looking at each other, and they both turn simultaneously and walk toward the ring rope because they both want to go towards Solo. And Fatu stops Cody. And he goes, nah, Cody, I'm talking to him first. And Cody goes, you can have the first word, but I want the last. This was great. This was a phenomenal way to start the show. There's not much, there's more story that happens throughout the night to kind of solidify what happens here. But in terms of starting the show, hell yeah, pop.
Yeah, definitely a pop to start the night. Didn't really know what to expect, but you had kind of hinted at it. Like, our SmackDowns have kind of been loaded up front with like some entrances or long promos, and you kind of get that built-in 30-ish minutes, 25 minutes, and you don't really know what to expect. So you got Cody come out and you're like, oh, okay, here we go. Cuts a normal Cody Rhodes promo, but then you get the sprinkle of Drew McIntyre in, and then you get Fatu in, and Fatu is the real star here.
Oh yeah,
he obviously seeing him in the ring with McIntyre and Cody, you're like, okay, I want to see both of these matches. Like, it doesn't matter who he's in the ring with. I'm like, yes, sign me up. I want this now. He continues to cut a good promo. The crowd's really behind him tonight, which was nice to see. Kind of like our first sight of just like, okay, the crowd's really supportive here. And then to have the dynamic of Fatu and Cody both like, hey, you're pissed at Solo. I'm pissed at Solo. He's got a lot of explaining to do, basically. Just a great way to start off the show because now you're like, okay, let me watch throughout the night.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway from this was just Fatu is an absolute star. It seems like every time he walks into a ring, he does a stare down with somebody, and instantly the entire crowd is just like, yep, that's all of a sudden become a dream match. I want it right now. Please give me it. Even when he was staring down Cody, even for that 1 second, I was looking at it like, damn, I could use that at Mania. Like, this dude's been around for 6 months. He hasn't really accomplished anything. Yet he's already got that level of attraction to your eyes where you just see him and you're just like, yep, go ahead. He can have a title match at WrestleMania. Fine. I'm down.
Yeah. It's kind of the level of badass. I mean,
yeah.
I would say a decent amount of people knew him kind of outside of WWE. And they're like, man, this guy's a badass. And then when he does get brought into WWE, the way they booked him is so strong and so badass aura that you're just like, okay, yeah, this guy isn't fazed by anything, and they immediately elevated him as like, I'm a top guy. And he carries himself that way. So
yeah, and he's booked like it. Just give me all the Fatu in the world, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But right after this, they show him in the bag. Tama Tonga and Fatu are searching for Solo, basically, and they're killing everybody. He killed some like random dude in the back, just murdered him. So it happens. Bianca and Naomi would now be in the ring, but we'd find out Trish Stratus is in the crowd watching. Means something's got to happen, right? And elimination qualifier match, Naomi versus Chelsea Green. And Naomi would start the match by trying to go for like 5 roll-ups. She was just trying to roll her up, which makes sense considering on Raw and SmackDown lately, roll-up pins are kind of the way to go. So it was like, you know what? Maybe Naomi's just,
It's always the longest joke, running wrestling joke. It's the best finisher in all sports entertainment or whatever,
Anyway, Chelsea would end up dominating, though, at the beginning. But Naomi would hit her with a crossbody and really start doing all her moves. Running bulldogs, a scissor kick like she was freaking Booker T out there. Looking real good. She'd go for the split leg moonsault off the top, but Chelsea would move, which would give her the upper hand. And Chelsea would try to go to the top rope and hit an unprettier from the top rope. But when she flipped over to do the unprettier from the top rope, she kind of fell and Naomi got the best of her there. But back and forth match happens. Toward the end, Chelsea would go up again to try to do another top rope unprettier and miss one more time, and Naomi would pop right back, hit the split leg moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Naomi gets the pin over Chelsea Green here. And this match was absolutely fine, and I'm popping the match, but I am also giving this a drop because I get that we're doing Elimination Chamber qualifier matches. We can't just be having the mid-card women's titles losing in these matches. Lyra Valkyria loses that in her first match since winning the title, and now Chelsea Green takes a clean loss to Naomi with absolutely no shenanigans. I do not like our mid-card women's champions getting pinned like this.
No, yeah, it's pretty bad. And you could rebuttal that, I guess, and say the Naomi and Bianca Jade stuff is maybe more important. Well, that's what WWE is telling you. They're telling you that storyline with those three is more important than the women's mid-card title, which is just kind of a slap in the face.
Yep.
And especially to wrestling fans, it's like, okay, why should I care about the women's IC title? Why should I care about the women's US title? Both of the champions just lost. Yes, you had them lose to former main title holders in Bayley and Naomi, but it's like, well, why should I care? Like, when this person comes out again, why should I care that she's holding that title?
Yeah, you just immediately establish that this is below the main stars, which we all know that, right? We know that over the years of watching how the mid-card title works. Like, Roman Reigns is always going to be able to beat the U.S. title holder, right? But the thing is, you don't put them in situations to where that's showing off, especially not right when we just introduced these titles. Lyra just won it, and she lost her first match afterward. Chelsea has at least been booked a little bit better in terms of, like, backstage stuff. She has a little bit more of a character around her title to where when she loses here, it doesn't feel as bad. But within the span of 5 days, having both of them drop clean matches in qualifier matches, it just makes it feel like the qualifying for the Elimination Chamber is worth more than having the mid-card women's championship, which with a brand new belt just doesn't feel good. And it gives the people who said for years that we shouldn't do this because of blah, 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 it gives them kind of relevancy in their basis for that, because that's how it feels.
Yeah. And then one quick point before we move on. Yeah, you said that, like, I don't know, we talked about it during the last stream.
You popping or dropping?
I'm going to drop it.
Okay.
I'm going to drop it. Like, they just put themselves in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
Like, Naomi could have fought Piper. And, like, you'd be like, well, why is Piper in here? Well, we all knew that Naomi was going to qualify for the women's chamber. Like, I think everybody did. I think you see Chelsea Green on that, and you're like, well, she's not going to win this. She has the women's U.S. title. Why would she, like, you're just like, why would you even, like, you have this title.
That exactly.
So like you could have just put, with Valkyria or Chelsea, you could have put somebody else there.
Bingo.
And it would have been fine.
Just say that they didn't need to qualify for a chamber match because they already have a title that's worth a lot. And so they should be defending it in their own storylines.
Or they should just have a match themselves on
Yeah.
the Elimination Chamber PLE. They could defend them there. But yeah, it's just a big misstep here.
I agree. The match was good, though. I'll give them that. We would get Sami Zayn and KO back and forth in their video packages, meaning their home recorded iPhone videos. Sami was on the sofa while Kevin Owens was in his car per usual. Sami Zayn was first, though. He said his neck is very, very hurt. He may have nerve damage. He's trying to come to terms with what KO did. At this point, he thinks it's just a joke because Kevin Owens has turned on him 100 times. He's kind of acknowledging what all of us are saying, right? You idiot.
He should just stop falling for it, right? If you know that's the case, Sammy, you should just stop being so stupid.
I agreed. He said this time felt more personal. It felt like KO's point was to try to end his career. And for what? For him not helping Kevin Owens during the match. He came out to check on him during the match. He was screaming to doctors to get him help ASAP. He basically he didn't think the KO should be mad at him for not cheating during a world title match in wrestling. And he says, when I'm back, we are going to go again, and it will not be fun for you. And then let me find when Kevin Owens decided to rebuttal this a little bit later in the show. Yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. It's definitely somewhere in here. Maybe. Kevin's
in the car, basically.
Yeah, Kevin's in the car. Basically says, he basically says that no, it is personal, and that you are part of the people in my life who've stabbed me in my back, right to my face, and that he doesn't care if Sami's cleared. He doesn't care if Kevin Owens is cleared. At Toronto, at Elimination Chamber, we are going to come face to face. So we don't know if it's a match. We don't know what they're going to do, but we know they're going to come face to face at Elimination Chamber. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, what do you expect from it? Do you like these kind of promos?
Yeah, I like it in terms of Kevin Owens. I found myself during Sammy's being like, well, I don't really like it when Sami does it. He doesn't have that charisma for me to really buy into them. I think Sami does a lot better when he's got somebody in the ring with him.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, though, obviously phenomenal job. Yeah, he says, come find me in Toronto where it all began. Super kind of cool throwback, I guess. And you look at it, I think you and I are both in agreement. We don't get an actual match here. I think we get a brawl. Maybe some tables broken, maybe some chairs, maybe just some nice backstage shenanigans going on here. And then we just push that to WrestleMania.
100%. We're not getting that match until Mania time. But Toronto Elimination Chamber, there's going to be a lot of stuff to hurt each other with, which is going to be fun to see. Hopefully we get to see them out in the streets of Canada fighting. It'd be kind of cool to do that. This is just going to lead right into the Mania match, as it should. But this is a good start to a rivalry here. You have both of them saying, you know what, enough is enough. There's not going to be any back and forth where Sami maybe is begging for him to turn the other way and see what he did wrong. They both are they hate each other now. Let's get after it. We're going to start our new rivalry right where it all began, Toronto. Let's go to war.
Yeah, kind of almost an arrogant Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Some of the comments he had to make act like he was better than Kevin tonight, which definitely not the case, but you know, what are you going to do? Hopefully we get some more stuff with Kevin like this. Like I said, the Sami stuff, I didn't really find myself as invested as I did with Kevin, but I think that's just because Kevin's obviously so good.
I agree. We would get a Motor City Machine Gun versus the Los Garzas match, and it was like a 5-minute just tag team special, right? It was just all the motors. It was just the best of both of them. Motor City Machine Gun did all their tag team moves. If I had to sit here and describe every single one of them, it'd take an hour and a half because of the long names and just how many they did.
Neckbreaker drop kick thingy.
Neckbreaker drop kick. Garzas were doing all the fun stuff as well. They did the thing where Angel held one guy in a crossbody and then in a powerbomb position, and the other went up and drop kicked him while he also did like a slam. So really, really good stuff here. But it would end with the skull and bones from Motor City Machine Guns. They do get the win. No story progression afterward. There wasn't any shenanigans. Just flat out Motor City Machine Guns beats the Garzas. I'm taking it as a pop. I thought it was a fun match.
Yeah, no shenanigans, no baloney, no malarkey.
There you go.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm dropping this. Dropping it because Angel forgot his tattoo.
He did forget his tattoo.
That's why I'm dropping it. It's a quick match. That's about all the thing I'm going to go into.
I might
fine match, but I'm going to drop it. Yeah.
He did forget his tattoo.
That's his whole shtick is the tattoo.
Yeah, I do one job.
Yeah.
You forgot your peel-on tattoo? Cody does it every day. Why can't you?
Yeah. How dare he?
Fatu is still pissed off running around the backstage when he eventually does find Solo Sikoa. And he goes, what the hell is going on? And Solo goes, I needed time, dude. I lost the Ulafala and I was not myself. I let the family down. Do you understand what that did to me? But now I am okay and I'm ready to take over again. And in order to do that, we need to be together as one. And that starts when you win the match tonight and you go to the Elimination Chamber in order to get you a title shot to get our family back, our championship at WrestleMania. And then when Jacob does not respond, he turns around. Solo grabs his arm and says, I love you, Jacob. So we're getting it, man. We got more stuff to talk about later in the night, but this was really, really good. Solo is so good. His character work is phenomenal, and with Jacob's obvious phenomenal character work, this is going to be amazing. This was like a 5-second thing, but I'm popping it. I loved it.
Yeah, quick, easy pop for sure. You have Solo being like, hey, I basically disgraced the family, so I needed time to really sit there and think about it. But now it's up to you. And Solo really being that supportive guy, you're like, yeah, Solo. Yeah, everybody should listen to Solo. Like, everybody, he just wants to support. He just wants what's best for the family, which, is kind of the whole thing all along, right?
Yeah.
It's a nice little story beat for him.
I mean, he's wearing a full white suit, too.
Yeah, you can't drop it with that.
With a big gold chain. I mean,
like LeBron James.
No point, James. Shinsuke Nakamura, the guy who's been walking around the back with the U.S. Championship on hostage, he walks to the ring, and he looks like he's ready to fight, but instead he grabs a mic. Mm-hmm. And he goes, 4 weeks I have been waiting for a challenger. And then he says a bunch of Japanese, and he's really good at that.
Also, yeah, before we go on, I guess it wasn't, this is my attention issue. It wasn't really so much LeBron James, kind of like Batista, though.
Yeah, with Ray.
Yeah,
back in the day.
The white. Yeah. The white Batista. Not
need
as
the glasses.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, Shinsuke's in the ring. He goes, there are no warriors here on SmackDown. No one to challenge me. You're all weak. And that's when LA Knight's music hits. Yeah. And he comes back and he goes, you know what? You are a liar. You have been hiding. Or one truth that you did say is that you have been hiding, but you haven't been waiting for a challenger at all. He goes, you want a test? The test is right here. And you guess what? You've already lost this test. And when he steps into the ring, the Miz's music hits. Yeah. The Miz. We're like, hell yeah, big Miz guys here. Big Miz guys here. He goes, you know what? I was always wrong about LA. I said LA Knight was a fad, but here we are. All of you guys are cheering for him, which means it proves that our fan base is not smart. You're a bunch of basic people. And I was like, that hurts. And he says, I see that no one is worthy of a title shot here but me. And LA goes, oh, so you're worthy? Let me guess. You're going to sit here and say, oh, you're Grand Slam champ. You beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. Same old shtick. Guess what, Miz? You're no longer relevant. I'm happy to see you here, though, because I thought you were just gone. You might as well, while you're talking about John Cena, start a farewell tour because no one wants to see you here. They all want to see you go. And this is when the Miz he's the Miz. I mean, this dude can still go on a mic. He starts fake crying. He's like, oh, you guys wanted to see me go. Oh, and he's crying. He's looking at the crowd. And even LA Knight's cracking. He has LA Knight cracking. LA Knight is laughing at this point. And he starts going and he goes, you know what? I know that you act like you're crying, but guess what? It makes a lot of sense because you and Drew McIntyre are the two biggest crying bitches we have on the roster. That's what he said, not me. And Miz says, my resume stands alone. When they stop cheering you one day, guess what you'll be? You'll be nothing. He goes, I want my shot at the U.S. title. And LA says, guess what? I deserve this. And when that is said, they start going back and forth. And Nick Aldis comes out and he goes, you know what? We're in a wrestling ring. This is a wrestling promotion. We could probably settle this in some way, shape, or form. How about we have a match, number one contender match right now? It was good stuff. I'm just going to write the promo. It was a long little promo. I love this. Miz LA Knight, pop.
Yeah, I'm popping this as well. It was awesome.
You did the
yeah, so I got to do the awesome. It's kind of like looking in a mirror.
It is.
I mean, the Miz basically, obviously, he's been on WWE programming far longer than LA Knight, but if you look at LA Knight's career and everything, a lot of similarities between him and the Miz. So I found myself very quickly being like, yeah, can this just be the U.S. title feud?
Yeah, me too.
Very, very quick.
But the match would literally start while we're on break. We come back. LA Knight's already dominating with power slams. He's basically getting, he's getting the best of old man Miz, right? Because that was sort of the thing, even though they're both like the same age, but whatever.
2 years difference.
Yeah, Miz would come back with a bunch of kicks, stomps. Miz proved once again that he can still go in the ring this match. Just saying here. We had LA Knight baseball drop kick slides out of the ring. He was doing the hits off the announce table, all the good stuff that we love to see. But he started talking trash to Shinsuke Nakamura, who was watching. And Miz would take the advantage of that, throw him into the steel steps, hit some DDTs, get some 1-2 oohs. When eventually LA Knight would hit the BFT, doesn't pin him, pops up to the top, hits a top rope, elbow drop. LA Knight does get the win. Shinsuke, LA Knight stare down. LA Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura, doing it again for the United States Championship. I'm going to say it. LA Knight should rip that man's U.S. title off him. We should get LA Knight taking on guys like The Miz, guys like Big Jim. Let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes too, even if they want to do that again at some point, or Andrade who do that. I don't really care.
Yep.
Somebody.
Yeah.
You at least have some matches for the U.S. title would be nice to see. I was very happy when Shinsuke came back. I was happy with them giving him the title. It was kind of like a shock factor. You're like, okay, cool. Nice reset for Shinsuke. What's going to happen now? And then they did nothing with him since then. Yep. I mean, it's almost as bad as the Logan Paul era. Yep. I mean, that's how bad it's been. LA Knight being the number one contender, just give me that. Give me the LA Knight victory and have him feud with whoever. Big Jim sounds fantastic to me.
The best part about LA Knight feuds with guys like Carmelo, guys like The Miz, guys like Big Jim would be the promo work would be incredible. And that's the type of stuff that really cements and solidifies people as on the main roster, like with the fan base. The crowd will get behind Big Jim now that he is coming out weekly and having great promo segments. The crowd obviously loves Melo. In the past, they loved The Miz. LA Knight is that guy. So just have him rip the title off of Shinsuke ASAP, hopefully at like Chamber. And let's have a really good United States Championship match that can really build a guy. Like I want Big Jim. But the Shinsuke test did not go as well as we wanted it to. And I don't know WWE's problem with it. It isn't hitting with him. It isn't hitting.
Yeah. They just basically stopped trying.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally just said, we don't know what to do. Which, if that's the case, you can't keep the title hostage. So just move along, basically.
Yep. Alexa Bliss is backstage with Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, and she was basically wishing Nia luck because, they do have past together. Long story past. And Alexa says she qualified for the Chamber. If Nia beats Tiffany tonight, they're going to meet at WrestleMania, so she hopes that happens. But, of course, our screen goes blurry. Wyatt 6 stuff. So Wyatt 6 Alexa Bliss stuff is still going on, but that's literally all we got here tonight of it. So that's really that there. We move on to match of the night. R-Truth versus Carmelo Hayes. R-Truth is coming out with a full intro, and we were like, oh, what the hell? This man was doing it. But Melo would attack before the bell even started, and he would dominate most of this match. R-Truth got a little bit of offense in here. It was all of John Cena's offense. He got all the 5 moves of doom up until the 5-knuckle shuffle when Melo super kicked him, but then Melo would
he got the 5-knuckle shuffle in.
No, he didn't. He got super kicked. He bounced off the rope and got super kicked right in the mouth.
Damn it.
And Melo would try to grab him, but R-Truth would end up giving him a stunner. But then Melo would hit a code breaker, and then Melo would go to the top rope. Nothing but net.
Very
Melo
nice
wins.
Stunner.
I get it. We're keeping Melo on TV, keeping him going. But these little matches against guys aren't doing it for me. I am going to give it a drop. I like Melo. He should be doing bigger and better things, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to drop it as well. I mean, not much more else to add.
Yeah,
and I get you got to start somewhere. So, like, at least he's on TV.
Yeah.
But it's one of those segments that you're like, yeah, I know you have 3 hours to fill, so let's just throw it in there.
Yep.
And that's that.
Bingo. Street Profits are very mad still. They don't want the smoke. They're coming back. I cannot wait for it. But we do find out that Pretty Deadly versus DIY is happening next week. A tag team championship match, which will probably roll into Elimination Chamber, which will probably roll into WrestleMania with all these tag teams that are happening. So Can't wait for that. Can't wait for the Street Profits to get back into it because they're great.
Yeah, I can't wait for the great tag match next week to clearly have no shenanigans.
Yes, clearly. That's when the Kevin Owens stuff happened. There it is, right there in my nose. Kevin Owens.
Bang.
We would get our women's title match, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, the match that we thought was going to happen like 2 months ago when she got the title, but now we get it.
42 days ago.
42 days ago. There you go. And it lived up to every bit of it, man. This was spectacular. This was a phenomenal match. It would start out with Nia being strong and Tiffany Stratton being athletic as hell. But Nia was obviously she was kind of big broing Tiffany at the beginning of this match and was really doing most of the offense. Tiffany was absolutely selling everything. It was great. But Nia would do her pop-up headbutt, pop-up Samoan drop, all that good stuff. She'd even go to the top rope, hit her with a top rope Samoan drop, 1-2 ooh on that one. And then she'd pop right back up and do a leg drop off the second turnbuckle, 1-2 ooh on that one. They were really booking Tiff to look good here, man. Really, really, really. But Tiff would go for would throw Nia out of the ring, and then she'd pull a Charlotte, because Charlotte was watching this match. And she'd go to the top rope, moonsault from the top rope to the outside of the ring, into Nia Jax. Very Charlotte-esque of Tiffany Stratton. Very good stuff. But she would get Nia back in the ring, can't pick her up. She's kind of heavy. Nia would go for the Annihilator, but she would miss. And when she missed, Tiff would spine buster her, and she would go up to go for the moonsault when Candice LeRae came over and didn't just like push Tiffy off when the ref wasn't looking. She attacks Tiffany, gets her DQ'd, gets Nia Jax DQ'd, I guess. And so Tiffany wins this match. And Nia, after the match, goes crazy and she annihilates Tiffany Stratton. She throws her in the corner, starts corner splashing her. Trish Stratus runs into the ring, who's been out there for a while, and she starts to go after Nia Jax, go after Candice LeRae, but Nia would honestly get the advantage on Trish too. She'd destroy her as well. And Nia and Candice would leave, and as they were leaving, Charlotte Flair comes out. And Charlotte Flair walks into the ring. She gets a chair because Candice LeRae had gotten a chair and sets it right next to a beaten and battered Tiffany Stratton. And she sits down and she says, "Tiffy, wake up, Tiffy. Blink if you can hear me, Tiffy." She's playing with her. She goes, "It's still Tiffy time." Then she gets serious and she goes, Charlotte Flair goes, "The queen chooses you and me at WrestleMania. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania." This match was spectacular. The after stuff was great. Popping all of it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop all of it, I guess. We'll start with the match. The match was fantastic. The match should have deserved a PLE.
Yeah.
Especially with how good this match was. I really enjoyed this match. The only thing I would say is I would think that Nia Jax would be like, "Hey, Candice, why the hell you get me disqualified?" But, whatever, I guess. You get the Trish Stratus stuff, which you had always kind of thought was going to be the Mania stuff for Nia Jax. So cool. Sign me up. That's fine. The most important thing, obviously, here is Tiffany retaining, and you get Charlotte Flair choosing her. That is the money match. That's the match I think a lot of people wanted to see. It's going to be fantastic stuff. It's kind of nice here that you don't have a Tiffany rebuttal because, as you had mentioned, Charlotte is a lot better on the mic than Tiffany. So it was fine here. No big deal. The match I guess not most excited for, but I'm really excited for this match and just hoping Charlotte does the right thing. And now we really hit the gas pedal into Mania.
Yeah, so we have a buffer with the Stratton tag match at Chamber, which is totally fine, but that still gives us a good amount of time to build up this rivalry like it should be. I'm glad that we got it out of the way right away. I like the idea of having Jay and Charlotte both already choosing their people with a month and a half to go. We have the right amount of time to build this stuff up, and this was the obvious correct choice. Charlotte, Tiffany was a dream scenario for the entire year for most people. It's now here. I'm looking forward to the building blocks that you can set to make Tiffany Stratton really push through and break through and become a top talent within the WWE. No one else better to set you up than Charlotte Flair. Hopefully she does the job at WrestleMania and Tiffany can become the star that she needs to be because she is that good.
Yeah, and you always say it all the time. Sometimes the obvious choice is the right choice. Yeah. So, I mean, this was perfect here. Fantastic stuff. The match is going to be phenomenal. The build itself, I'm a little hesitant on, a little nervous, but I think they'll do the right thing. And you kind of have that fighting from beneath underdog Tiffany versus the GOAT, if you will. And that's kind of the way we'll portray this. Fast forward to Mania.
And then, of course, the Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton tag team versus Candice LeRae and Nia Jax at Chamber. Going to be a fun match. Going to lead to Nia versus Trish at WrestleMania, just as we predicted. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
We would move on, though.
Trishy time.
That's what Trish said.
Yep.
Trishy time.
Yep.
We move on to Drew and Jim are in the back, and Jim's just kind of watching the show from outside on a TV. Like, oh, okay. Drew walks up to him, and he kind of just starts saying, Jay's got a path to WrestleMania. I qualified to go to Elimination Chamber to earn a shot at WrestleMania, and you just got your feet up on the couch, is what he said. You're going to be at home.
It's comfy.
And he goes, yeah. He says, let me give you some advice. your career's already in the toilet, but guess what, dude? You did pretty good with the wife. So just stick to that. You're all married up. And Jim would walk away and then super kick Drew. So we're getting Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy next week. And like, hell yeah, give me that on regular TV. I'm down.
Yeah. So, speaking of his wife, she had a backstage promo earlier in the night. You're about to get there. Look at the transition.
Yep. So we do have a backstage segment with Nick Aldis and Naomi and Bianca. Nick Aldis says that there has been a newfound videotape involving the Jade Cargill case. He plays the video, and it pans away from the ambulance where they are putting Jade into the ambulance. It pans away, and Liv and Raquel are walking. They're walking in the parking lot, which I guess suggests that Liv and Raquel might have done it. This has to be just a complete, what's the word? Like a facade? It's just
swerve, yeah. Facade, swerve. Hijinks.
There you go, hijinks. This has to be a complete
malarkey.
Swerve. There's no way that it's Bianca or not Bianca and Naomi who did this.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, we kind of had the thoughts, and I think pretty much everybody did. You have Naomi here when Nick Aldis says, hey, there's new developments. Naomi starts to kind of get a little paranoid look on her face. I don't think Bianca really had that. Bianca's like, okay, well, let's see who it was. So Naomi kind of goes quiet, and Bianca kind of is talking like, okay, it's Liv and Raquel. We're going to go see them on Monday. We'll deliver them a fight, or we'll deliver them a promise. I don't know.
One of these.
Yeah, knuckle sandwich. Yeah, but Naomi obviously looks a little bit worried, a little bit freaked out, and it's got to obviously be a swerve to, throw everybody off the trail, but it was like, damn it. I thought we were going to get something. Just a little something. So we still have to wait a little bit longer.
I like it. I like that we're bringing this back up, and now that the story's heating up, but the video is stupid. It's just Liv and Raquel walking around the parking lot. It doesn't suggest anything that she was attacking them at all.
She's already in the ambulance.
Right.
Or she's either already in it or she's getting put into it, and then it pans and it's like, oh.
Yeah. Jade's already being put in the ambulance, and these two just happen to be walking around the parking lot while everybody else is also in the parking lot looking at Jade. Doesn't make any sense. But if it's going to be a swerve, sure, you can have Bianca and Naomi face Liv and Raquel. They already had that tag team title match, so we can get that out of the way. And then, of course, this is a swerve because I think you're right, and Naomi did this 100%. And then we'll go into WrestleMania hot with whatever comes whenever Jade comes back and reveals the true killer in this attack. So can't wait for that. But I just think the video was a little bit of a oh come on moment.
It's gonna be a chamber.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a chamber since Naomi and Bianca are both in the match.
Popping or dropping it?
The video?
Yeah, I'm dropping it.
I guess.
We talked about it long
You know what?
enough.
I'm going to pop it.
Okay.
Because Nick Aldis had trouble with technology. And as somebody who has trouble with technology, funny. I admire that.
He was like, damn it, we're on live TV. He put the button like 4 times.
Yeah, he couldn't get his go. And as a podcast that has technology problems.
Damn right.
I feel you, Nick.
Final elimination qualifier match, our main event of the night. Strowman, Fatu, Priest. Damn. To start the match, Fatu and Priest were like, you know what? The Braun Strowman guy's big. We should just get him out of the ring. And so they did that. They got him out of the ring. And then Damian Priest and Fatu fought for a little bit. But Strowman would eventually recuperate, come back into the ring, and destroy everybody. He threw everybody out of the ring. And then we spilled to the outside of the ring. And Braun Strowman's throwing Fatu off the barricade. Damian Priest is jumping off the stairs trying to take Braun Strowman down, but the big guy don't fall down very easy. We would get Damian trying to go for old school and Braun Strowman on Fatu, and Braun Strowman would hop up onto the apron, and Damian would push Strowman off, and Damian would jump off the old school. Fatu would catch him and Samoan drop him, which was absolutely awesome. And then Fatu would pop right back up, suicide dive Braun Strowman on the outside, then run up to the top turnbuckle back in the ring, swanton bomb to Damian Priest, 1-2. Ooh, Fatu's incredible. I can't say enough thing about him. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then just a bunch of stuff happens here. Strowman does a power bomb to Fatu, who is superplexing Damian Priest. So we get that whole thing. Priest would flatliner Fatu onto the announce table on the outside. Braun Strowman run over and just shove Damian Priest as hard as he can over the announce table, so he goes absolutely flying. And then Strowman would chokeslam Fatu onto the announce table. Yep. I mean, big guys are doing some pretty big moves, man. I mean, what do you say? Eventually, though, We're on the outside or we go back in the inside of the ring, and Fatu is starting to do the tribal cheeks hip attack directly to Braun Strowman over and over again, just like he did at Saturday Night Main Event. So tribal cheeks, tribal cheeks, tribal cheeks. Braun Strowman's hurting a bunch. But he would go to grab a chair and put it around Strowman's neck, but Strowman was like, no. And then he threw Fatu into the corner, and then he put the chair on Fatu's neck. And Braun Strowman backed up where he was going to assume do some move. Solo Sikoa shows up and spikes Braun Strowman. So he's there to help Mr. Fatu. But then Cody Rhodes' music hits. And this is where shenanigan galore happens, man. So he spikes him. Fatu, he did moonsault Braun Strowman before Cody came out. And then Cody came out. And he attacks. He goes right after Solo Sikoa. And Tama Tonga then comes out and tries to help Solo. And Tama Tonga grabs Cody. And Solo goes for a spike. Cody dips. And Solo ends up spiking Tama Tonga. Jacob Fatu sees that. Not a happy camper.
As Jacob's rolling out of the ring.
Yeah. Fatu sees it. He's pissed off. He starts to square up with Solo. Damian Priest comes and throws Fatu into Solo, then throws him over the barricade. Cody picks up Solo, crossroads him. Damian has now cleared out Fatu. Cody has now cleared out Solo. Tama Tonga got spiked. Damian goes in the ring. South of heaven to Braun Strowman. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest wins this. A lot happened here, but this match was fun. I loved all the shenanigans. This is exactly what I wanted from this. I'm popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. This was pretty much exactly kind of what we thought was going to happen.
Yep.
The right guy gets the win here. The right guy takes the pin here. You get the bloodline family dispute drama happening as well. Just continues to go for Solo. Everything, Solo tries his hardest, and damn it, the stuff isn't going his way.
No, not good for Solo. But the takeaway here is that Solo and Jacob Fatu are definitely on the start of collapse, right? Cody got the last say of the night. He crossroads Solo, but I think that'll be kind of it for that. He kind of got his say in there. Cody did allude earlier that he thought that the spike last week was not actually meant for him. He was taking his aggression out on Cody for someone else. But it looks like Fatu, Solo are going to have unfinished business next week. Tama Tonga is going to have to pick a side. We're going to start to get that Bloodline 2.0 full collapse. I am so here for it. Solo and Fatu are so over in my mind. This is going to be one of my favorite rivalries going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think on the SmackDown side at least on the male side, this is the story I'm most excited for. Maybe, honestly, and on SmackDown as a whole, to be honest with you. This is going to be fantastic. It's going to be phenomenal. Tama Tonga is going to pick Fatu, I assume. You kind of saw that tonight, how he just continued to kind of follow Fatu around. And Fatu's really kind of become a leader out of the two of them. He's really taken that step and really elevated his game here. Solo's trying his hardest, but damn it, everything just seems to not go his way. He's trying to do what's best for the family, but, it's just not working out for him. So I can't wait for this. You can hit the gas pedal. You can accelerate this. It's going to be amped up 10. The match, it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait for the story beats. I can't wait for Solo to try to come back and apologize next week. He can say, watch the footage, but WWE only selectively watches the footage. I can't wait for Nick Aldis to maybe, hey, I got a development. Look.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be fantastic stuff. So
just cannot wait for it. We already got I love you, Jacob. I can't wait for the I hate you, Solo, all that phenomenal stuff that's going to come. But catapult Fatu into star and let Solo carry him on the character work, I think, during the feud. It's going to be great. I can't wait. But good episode of SmackDown here. 17 pops and 6 drops. Thank you all who came to our stream today to watch it as well. We had a lot of fun in there today. You guys are the absolute best. And then, of course, today, NXT Vengeance Day. Come watch it live. It's 5 p.m. Central for us, 6 Eastern, and then wherever else you guys are.
3 Pacific.
Tune into it because NXT, those PLEs are good, man. Those are good. But follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts at YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. And then, of course, we have a link tree in our bio. It's got all of our socials. Go follow all of them. Comment on all of our stuff, all of our shorts, TikToks, all that. We love talking to you guys in any way we can. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you next time.